Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into something that, well, it sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? The power of positive thinking. But I promise you, what we're about to explore goes so much deeper than just putting on a happy face. This is about the very real, very tangible ways we can actually rewire our own brains. It's about how we can take control of our internal world to radically improve our health, our ability to bounce back from anything, and ultimately the results we get in life. So let's get started with the big idea at the heart of it all. Change your thoughts and you change your world. Now, it's really easy to hear a quote like that and just kind of nod along, right? Sounds nice. But let's just pause on that for a second. What if that's not just a feel-good phrase? What if it's a literal instruction manual for life? What if the actual architecture of our inner world, the thoughts we repeat to ourselves day in and day out, genuinely shapes the physical reality we experience? As we're about to see, this isn't just philosophy. This is a principle that's backed by some pretty compelling science and proven by some of the most successful people who've ever lived. All right, so you're probably thinking, okay, that's a nice idea, but where's the actual proof? I get it. So let's move past the quotes for a minute and look at the hard evidence. What does science really have to say about optimism? Well, it turns out the link between what's going on in our minds and what's happening in our bodies is way deeper and more direct than most of us ever thought. This is not just all in your head. It's in your cells, it's in your bloodstream, it's in your heart. And look at this. We're not talking about small, minor effects here. These are genuinely life-altering benefits. We're talking about research from world-class institutions, places like Harvard and the Mayo Clinic, that consistently, time and again, show that people who cultivate an optimistic mindset literally live longer, healthier lives. Think about what that means. They recover more quickly when they get sick. They have lower levels of cortisol. That's the nasty stress hormone that wreaks havoc on our bodies. They have better cardiovascular health, and their immune systems are measurably stronger. It's almost as if your brain can act as the most powerful pharmacy in the world, prescribing exactly what your body needs to thrive. So how does this actually work? What's the mechanism? Well, a researcher named Dr. Barbara Fredrickson came up with this brilliant explanation called the broaden and build theory, and it is fascinating. The idea is that positive emotions, things like joy, gratitude, interest, contentment, they aren't just these nice, fluffy feelings that come and go. They're actually practical, powerful tools. Think of it like this. When you experience one of these positive emotions, it literally broadens your mental horizons. It's like your field of vision gets wider and you suddenly see more options, more possibilities, more creative solutions to problems. And over time, this broadening helps you build up critical psychological resources, like creativity and resilience, that you can draw on for the rest of your life. And this slide really gets to the heart of the matter, showing the stark contrast. When you're stressed out or anxious or angry, your brain slams into survival mode. It's a primal response. It's like you're looking at the world through a tiny keyhole. Your focus narrows down to just the immediate threat, and your options seem to just evaporate. But when you can intentionally cultivate a positive state of mind, the opposite happens. That keyhole opens up into a panoramic window. Your mind opens. You start connecting ideas that seemed unrelated before, and all of a sudden, solutions start appearing where before you could only see roadblocks. It's the same world, just a completely different way of seeing it. Okay, so we've talked about why this matters so much. We've seen the science. Now let's get into the really exciting part, the how. How do we actually take control of this incredible process? A really helpful way to think about this is that your mind is the most powerful and sophisticated piece of software you will ever own. And the best part? You are the programmer. You have the ability to go in and rewrite the code. Now, The key to all of this is understanding the role of your subconscious mind. Think of it as the operating system running in the background of your life. It's on autopilot, and it dictates the vast majority of your daily actions, your gut reactions, your habits, all based on the programming you've received throughout your life. So if that background program is filled with old limiting beliefs like I'm just not good at this, or I always mess things up, or I'm not worthy, well, that program will work tirelessly 24/7 to make sure your reality matches that code. It'll sabotage your best efforts without you even consciously realizing what's happening. This quote from Tony Robbins just nails it. It's the master key to reprogramming that subconscious mind. Where focus goes, energy flows. It's so simple, but so profound. Your brain literally directs its energy, its resources, its problem-solving power toward whatever you consistently focus on. If you constantly focus on your worries and limitations, you are literally feeding them, making them stronger. But if you can learn to consistently shift your focus to your potential, to solutions, to what you want, you energize a completely different set of possibilities. The beautiful thing is, that choice, where to direct your focus, is always, always yours. So here are 3 simple but incredibly powerful techniques to start that reprogramming process today. First up, affirmations. Now, this isn't just wishful thinking. There's a real process called neuroplasticity, which means your brain can change. By consistently repeating empowering statements like, I am capable, I am resilient, you are literally carving new, positive pathways in your brain. Second, visualization. This is a secret weapon for elite athletes and top performers everywhere. When you vividly, with emotion, imagine yourself succeeding, your brain doesn't really know the difference. It releases the same performance-enhancing chemicals and activates the same regions as if you were actually doing it. You're priming yourself for success. And third, gratitude. This one is so powerful. This simple daily act of noticing what you're thankful for, it fundamentally shifts your brain's default filter from scanning for threats and problems to actively seeking out and acknowledging the good that is already in your life. Okay, theory is great. Techniques are great. But let's look at some real-world proof. Let's talk about some people who didn't just understand this concept on an intellectual level, they lived it, they breathed it, and their stories are just such a powerful testament to this idea that our mindset, our internal world, truly does shape our destiny. Let's start with Thomas Edison. Just try to imagine this. You're trying to invent the light bulb. You run thousands of experiments, and they just don't work, one after another. Most people, I think, you and I included, would have called it failure and given up. But look at how his mindset completely reframed the entire experience. For him, a failure wasn't an endpoint. It wasn't a judgment on his ability. It was just a data point. It was a necessary, valuable piece of information on the path to finding what would work. That perspective shift is everything. And then you have someone like Oprah Winfrey. Her journey from a childhood of extreme poverty and immense hardship to becoming one of the most influential media icons on the planet is just a masterclass in the power of attitude. It was her unwavering belief in her own vision, her belief that she had something valuable to offer, that literally changed her future. Her story is powerful proof that your current circumstances have absolutely nothing to do with your ultimate outcome. It's your attitude that determines your altitude. And of course, Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. And what does he say? He directly credits his success to his failures. He's famous for talking about all the game-winning shots he missed. He understood something at a deep level. Every mistake, every missed shot, every lost game was just feedback. It was a learning opportunity that fueled his hunger to get better, to work harder, to win. He didn't run from failure. He embraced it as an essential, non-negotiable part of the process of becoming the best. These stories are so incredibly inspiring, right? But inspiration only takes us so far. It's only useful if we turn it into action. Real lasting transformation doesn't come from one big aha moment. It comes from the small, seemingly insignificant things you do consistently, day after day. It's all about building habits. So let's put this all together into a practical daily plan that anyone can start. This is a simple, but I'm telling you, an incredibly effective routine. You start your day by intentionally setting your mental direction for the next 16 hours. Just 5 minutes. Then you protect that mindset. You consciously curate your mental environment, your mental diet, just like you would your physical diet. And when, not if, a challenge hits, you don't just react, you get curious. You actively reframe it by asking that powerful question, what is here for me to learn? And of course, you surround yourself with positivity, whether that's uplifting books, people, or content. That's something we try to do on our Spotify podcast, where we go even deeper on these topics in a more informal chat. And finally, you end your day with gratitude, training your brain to scan for and remember the wins, no matter how small they seem. Now, I have to be really clear about something, because it's a huge misconception. This is not about toxic positivity. This is not about sticking your head in the sand and pretending problems don't exist. In fact, it's the exact opposite. It's about empowering yourself to face reality head-on, with all its challenges and difficulties, but with a fundamental belief in your ability to handle it. It's about training your mind to stop focusing on the problem and start looking for the solution, the opportunity, and the hope that is hidden inside every single challenge. And this quote from Winston Churchill just sums it all up so perfectly. The exact same situation can be presented to two different people. The pessimist looks at an opportunity and immediately sees all the reasons it won't work, all the difficulties. The optimist, on the other hand, looks at a difficulty, a real problem, and immediately starts searching for the hidden opportunity within it. The situation itself doesn't change. The only thing that changes is the perspective. And that shift in perspective, that is the most powerful tool you will ever have. So I'll leave you with this one question to take with you. The next time you face an obstacle, and you will, we all do, the next time you have a setback or a challenge, just pause for a moment and ask yourself, what am I choosing to see here? Am I choosing to see the difficulty that's going to stop me in my tracks? Or am I choosing to look for the opportunity that will move me forward? The choice, as always, is yours. Thank you so much for joining me today.